Oh man, have I got the worst luck. I was asked to do a life update. I'm better researched on other topics. I've been really dragging my feet on this. This has taken me days. All right. Oh, what's this? Oh, wow. An aluminum play button. Oh, wow. Look at that. Amazing. Presented to Lodane for passing 1,000 subscribers. Thanks, guys. Wow. That's super cool. I'm gonna have this propped up here in the back. I think it looks pretty good. There we go. Life update. Life is stupid and boring and whatever. Get into the dossier here. I have notes. That's just how this has got to be, because honestly this life update video has been one of the hardest to try and film ever. This is my 5th attempt. These are the things that I did want to tell you, my audience, the over 1,000 people that have subscribed, which I never made a proper thank you video for. Such a yapper, but I do get camera shy, I guess. And that's so funny because I have little trouble streaming. I think things just got important to me. I didn't care before, in a way, right? This channel was just a place where I was dumping whatever videos. It was just a repository of videos that happened to involve me that I happened to make. And I just recorded this bit. So I have a feeling that I'm gonna go back to the old videos and you're gonna see bits spliced in where I did a better job. Yay!
In the Lodane video system, the people are represented by 2 separate yet equally important groups. The realization that this is cringe, and the overwhelming need to film anyway. These are their stories. Done.
I want to tell you guys what's been going on in my life, and I will, but I just don't think it's that interesting. I think the most interesting thing that I could be talking about is other stuff, because my biographical stuff seeps in anyway. I mean, look, I'm not gonna say I'm perfect on this front, but I prefer to make sure that I'm not coming off as a plagiarist by citing my sources, right? Or I like to speak to what authority I have. If I know something about a situation, even if it's tangential, I like to touch base with that and be well, I know a little bit about something about this because of XYZ. And I know that sometimes comes off as condescending, and I never mean that to be the case. I just am not good with the affect all the time, so the neurodivergent girlies in chat understand. I mean, there's a Discord post where I did a nice little sandwich where I was well, hey, here's something good, and then here's kind of the rough stuff I've been dealing with that is now over. Yay, good stuff, another good thing, because if I'm radio silent, it's usually because there's nothing to report, or there's nothing good to report, and Cindy appearances aside, the last time you really saw me was Christmas of 23, right? Well, at that time, I was a producer at TRRS, The Rob Rousseau Show, and I left that position in October. Yeah, there's a reason I have trouble reading this. I have a bunch of notes, and I didn't want to do this. I'd much rather just talk to you face to face, but I just got to spewing this stuff on paper of what I actually did want to tell you guys. I moved. I'm in a new place since you last saw me, arguably. I moved out of the old place. If you saw me on Cindy's vlogs, then I had moved out of the old place at that point and was in my 6 months of homeless couch surfing because of bureaucratic paperwork, BS details. My old apartment decided with pretty much no notice to double my rent. Oklahoma doesn't have very strong protections for tenants. In fact, it's got some of the weakest tenant protections in the country. So I did pay that doubled rent 1 month, and then I got the hell out of there, like, because I needed that amount of time to get out of there, and I pretty much put everything in storage. That was really rough. Everything is basically still in storage. I've lived here for 6 months, and I just go and get some things from storage, bit at a time, and then integrate it into the house, knowing that in 6 months I may be moving again. Like, I don't know. So one thing that I did start doing during this extended downtime, oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Put a pin in that, The Sims 2. So I've always been interested in like game modding. I started learning how to do some Baldur's Gate 3 stuff. I actually got pretty far along with a lot of that, but housing disruption and stuff has made me sideline all of that, and hopefully I will get back to it soon. But I also did learn how to finally do some like more advanced Sims 2 modding and custom content stuff than I could before. In February, for my birthday, I released a bunch of that stuff. I released several mods and custom content, to be technical, to the community. So some of which I'm actually really proud of. Some of which should, I would hope, change the way people play, because some of it is related to some of the most important mods for all of Sims 2. So yeah, I'm hoping I'm improving a lot of people's games there. And the last few days I've been playing The Movies, which is a game I didn't really know about until recently, where you can like make machinima movies. It's also like a tycoon game, and the tycoon game part is fine, but the making the machinima part is super fun for me, so really love that. But I've been goofing off with all sorts of like really low budget, old CGI type video making and animation software. What I want to work on in the future, I have a few things. I would like to get back to playing Baldur's Gate, mostly with my nephew. Would like to play Baldur's Gate with him, and for the modding to, it's not really resume, because the game is, of course, I know that they've made some changes to where some stuff doesn't work the same anymore, so it'll be kind of starting all over in a lot of ways. But I'd like to start over with the Baldur's Gate modding stuff. I would like to, there of course is a long list of things that I would like to make and put out, and some of it's pretty much done and just needs to be released, but there's a long list of stuff for The Sims 2 that I would love to put out and everything. So why am I not vlogging? My friends and family are not as extremely online as I am, and so it's not like I could be showing you guys a bunch of people in my life without it being weird. Like, I just don't want to do that to them. I have a dog. His name is Lenny. Been working on his training and all of that. He just turned 2 years old. I can't show you the people that I hang out with. And what else do? I walk Lenny. I clean this shoebox of an apartment. I move stuff from storage, and I don't know how much of that I would watch. And if I don't think it's thrilling, then I'm not going to be a very good host for it, right? I just don't want to do that to you guys. Like, I'd love to vlog something exciting when there's something exciting. I'm not a vlogger. You guys just met me through a vlogger, and I've made some vlogs, but which is why I have promised all of you that, you know, when Cindy comes to town, I will vlog that. Even if she's not vlogging, I will vlog it.
And now a word from our totally real sponsor.
Make your bag, sure, but aren't you bored? Let's go nuts with business nuts. The perfect snack when you really need someone to cup your bowls at the office. Need a sticky excuse to shake hands too long? Try our honey roasted. Or the new fire spice.
Directly from the pits of hell.
We now resume our normally scheduled programming.
So there's one thing I do that I can't really show you exactly. Like, I can't show you, like, it would be really boring to watch me do it, and probably pretty painful to watch, because you'd just be like, oh my god, sit up straight. You've been holding yourself in that weird position for like 30 minutes. What is the page that you are reading that is so, you know? But I go down rabbit holes. I don't think that it's exactly healthy, the degree and depth that I go. I really can't stop myself sometimes once I get on a thread. on a tangent where I'm just like obsessive and I just have to like open 1,000 tabs and read everything and learn everything about this particular thing. And because I push myself, I just have this like thirst for knowledge once I get like on a track. Since I push myself so far in that regard, I like to think of it as like, if I share that with anybody, then I am saving them the pain of having to go through all of that and all of the missteps and all of the red herrings and things like that, you know. I hate when people are like, if I can just help one person, if like I can just help one person, it's made all of this worth it. Like my whole channel and all my thousands of hours of effort and everything, if I just help one person, it's worth it. But like, sometimes there are these massive pain points in your life where you're like, no, really, if I literally just like prevent one person from having to go through this, I will do a lot. I will do a lot to prevent even just one person successfully from having to go through this. Like, I'm not a perfect arbiter of knowledge, but like, once I've researched the ever-living, I think I have a pretty trustworthy idea of it. Definitely a great springboard if you're interested in learning more about that or the kinds of things that, you know, catch my attention. But the last couple months, I've just really had a fire under my ass because, you know, light side Sith things. You're gonna learn that one of my hyper special interests is the law, especially the goofy laws in this state. There are a lot of legal and philosophical and literary concepts that I would love to discuss. I just kind of think that maybe one of the better ways to keep up with what I'm doing is for me to just tell you what I'm doing, which is mostly what I'm researching. Loop of hair back here doing something, I don't know. Maybe me talking about something will make even more qualified people come forward and talk about these things. I don't know. The best I can really do is curate some information from people who have discussed these things, as well as, you know, I'll be citing all of my sources, and I will absolutely have receipts for anything that is less of an academic citation and more of a receipt situation. That's funny. It just occurs to me that you would academically describe a receipt as like a social citation and evidence and proof of offense, proof of exchange. You know, it's funny to me. Of course.